let's get started on Little Rhonda. Why am I talking about Little Rhonda? Well, because Little Rhonda is supposedly going to announce that he is running for president this week, actually. So let's take a look. The GOP presidential field expands with Senator Tim Scott's kickoff rally. DeSantis is expected to announce. Here's CBS Mornings.
To election politics, the Republican presidential field is growing with some notable names joining the race. On Wednesday, we expect Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to announce the start of his campaign. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott filed his campaign paperwork on Friday and will appear at a kickoff rally today in North Charleston. Robert Costa is there with more on the primary campaign. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. The Republican presidential race, it's entering a new phase, an expanding field as those debates loom on the horizon. The latest entry, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, who's positioning himself as a consistent conservative who has deep ties to the evangelical Christian community.
Can I get an amen?
Senator Tim Scott has been testing the presidential waters for weeks in the early primary states.
We have to start teaching the necessity of individual responsibility.
Now his campaign.
Yeah, dude, everyone in America is not teaching that. Thank God Tim Scott's here saying this incredibly unique thing. Thank God he's out here defending the teaching of individual responsibility. Like, oh my God. American politics is so fucking boring sometimes. Like, this is just, this is the Pete Buttigieg, okay, of the Republican Party. That's it. Like, nothing new, nothing interesting, nothing unique, not a single fucking unique thought here. Just boring as fuck. They always trot out like candidates like this in the Republican primaries every single fucking time. And ultimately, the guy that wins is, the one that is the most insane and the most unhinged. So that's it. It's never the guy who is going to be saying stuff like this. It's always going to be the guy who's like absolutely fucking psychotic.
Has bought nearly $6 million in ads to air in Iowa and New Hampshire as he returns as a candidate in the coming days.
It's also crazy how much money they have. Like, it is kind of wild that they just have so much money, so much of it, that they could just like spend $6 million for a guy who's going to get 1% of the fucking vote, dude. Fuck, man, this country just hurts my soul.
Has shown little eagerness to take on Donald Trump directly, explaining to CBS News last month his take on the race.
I see that America is starving for positive, optimistic leadership. I want to provide that alternative.
But recent CBS News polling shows likely GOP primary voters are looking for a candidate who digs into the culture wars and makes liberals angry.
Dude, look at that. Look at that. This is the YouGov poll that they asked top answers from likely GOP primary voters. The last time I looked at this list, it hurt me. It hurt my brain. It felt like I had an aneurysm trying to like explain this. I'm not gonna lie, shit hasn't changed, okay? It still hurts me. Seeing this is just so deeply and so undesirably frustrating. When I see this, it's like, when I see this kind of shit, I'm like, yeah, I get why we're in the position that we're in, and two, we kind of deserve it. I mean, look at this. %66% opposes any gun restrictions. 61% says Trump won in 2020. 57% want someone who makes liberals angry. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Like, where the only thing that's like tangent, like ostensibly policy that's like kind of related to policy is the oppose to any gun restrictions. And that is psychotic. That's a psychotic thing to fucking advocate for when there's like, 2 mass shootings a fucking day in this country.
looking for a candidate who digs into the culture wars and makes liberals angry. That same poll shows Scott with just 1% support, while former President Trump leads overwhelmingly. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes in second with 22%. DeSantis is expected to officially join the race this week after recent events outside of Florida where he pushed his conservative agenda and kissed babies in New Hampshire. A DeSantis ally tells CBS News the governor privately told his biggest donors last week that he is the only Republican who can win a general election, his latest shot at Trump's electability.
I think the party has developed a culture of losing. I think that there's not accountability.
But former President Trump and his top advisors remain increasingly confident.
Donald Trump.
Following a CNN town hall earlier this month, which they believe solidified his standing.
Let's just win it again and straighten out our country.
And most Republican House members from Florida have already endorsed Trump over DeSantis.
To me, it's not.
It's like, for the longest time, wanting to own the libs is the only thing they want because they've won economically. Felix Lieberman was so on point with that. Yeah, except they're not owning. Like, that's the other problem. What is this? Matt Christman explains this well here. What is this?
New job is Toilet Paper USA's creative director. Someone forwarded us the invite. It was
oh yeah, and it was at Cadillac Ranch, which is on the
Tequila Sunrise, and then just the Kavanaugh, which is just a beer.
Yeah, no, they didn't even have any puns.
Again, and the only way it was done up to make you know that it was America Fest. This is like Benny Johnson.
Wait, what the fuck? This doesn't explain anything.
There's one of Jackie Chan too. The only
about how you guys have the balls to be assholes on college campuses, and I love you for it. Yeah, no, I felt like a bone deep despair. I was feeling like Reverend Toller. Now, I was also in the same boat as us. You were born in the same situation. You have access to this incredible depth of nihilism, where it's just
wait.
Look,
Let's see. It's
no disentangling me from them. We are all accountable for this. No, I felt deep despair. And I also finally got the concept of Zen fascism. These guys have embraced like a Buddhist concept of nihilism, where it's just, look, we found ourselves by total random fact of fate to have been born at the end of this imperial moment. We have access to this incredible bounty of exploitation, of the bounties of exploitation, and we're gonna fucking use it and have fun. You're also in the same boat as us. You were born in the same situation. You have access to this same bounty. Why don't you just enjoy it? Yeah, everything's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. Sure, it's not sustainable, but we're gonna be the last to die. So why not enjoy it? Why fight against it? And I actually finally got the point of all that hypocrisy mongering that Republicans do, where they say, oh, you drive a car. Oh, you use a cell phone. It's not to try to get you in some petty hypocritical gotcha. It's to say, we're all in this together. We're all on the same side. Why don't you just enjoy it? Why are you torturing yourself? Why are you like,
Oh, this is actually bad. And oh, no, we're exploiting all these people.
yeah, but that can't change it. You're in this situation. Just eat the fucking slider, drink the goddamn beer, and enjoy yourself. Trigger the libs. Have fun. Because they always have that voice in their head. And that's why they need to trigger libs all the time. They need to push it out. They've embraced this nihilism, but they also know what they've done. And so it's never going to be actually fun. They're never going to really be able to be decadent. They're never really going to be able to be purely hedonistic. They need to have an enemy that they can smite at any given moment to smite their conscience.
That was pretty good. This is our parents and elders mentality. Look where it got us. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good take. This is Chapo Trap House for those of you who are unfamiliar, but bad take. He's assuming conservatives are self-aware. I don't even think that they're aware of that. You're right about that. I don't even think he's just saying that. It's just like a manifestation. Sometimes a lot of people say things, except you didn't fucking watch it. Wait, what do you mean I didn't fucking watch it? I skipped the unrelated parts about how their experiences were at TPUSA's sexy CPAC party directly to go to what Matt was saying about like the overall fascist Zen nihilistic approach that conservatives have. And it is a correct assessment that you don't need to be self-aware. Exactly. You don't need to have any kind of self-awareness for this take. It's just like experiencing something I like to call jalapeno poppers. This is what I always identify when I talk about conservatives and what they care about, or our things, our treats, the things that we care about, the things that we want to defend. The reason why they hold on to their jalapeno poppers at Applebee's is because that's all we have. So the moment that you actually hurt that, the moment that you actually stand in front of that, like whether it's because you want to do some kind of healthcare policy to stop people from getting sick during COVID or anything like that, all hell breaks loose, because it's all about if you don't have the trees, you have nothing. What was this entire project built for? What was it designed around? If I can't get the fucking jalapeno poppers, if I can't get the mozzarella sticks, then what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what is this? You don't even have to be completely aware of this. You don't even have to be aware of like how cruel this shit is. It usually is an afterthought that exists in all of us. We recognize it a little bit, but you just like kind of push it aside like a sound that you don't want to hear, because if you would hear it all the fucking time, it would make you go crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like a feeling of learned helplessness that you experience, that you recognize. Like here, this is a great example. We're talking about fucking Florida, right? If you're a young black kid in the state of Florida growing up right now, or if you are if you're a queer teenager in the state of Florida growing up right now, you see everything that's happening, and there is functionally nothing you could do. You could be a teenager in Nashville, okay, that doesn't want to be victim to gun violence, okay? There is nothing you can do about it. Like, nothing. Our politicians are never going to act. And you learn that early on. You know what I mean? The state legislature acts in a way that they want to, even if it doesn't help their electoral strategy, even if it doesn't help their success. They can react in a way that just is unhinged and cruel for the purpose of cruelty, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So after a certain while, some people choose to make what they consider to be meaningful change in their avenues of consumption, because like businesses will react to any kind of backlash, any kind of movement, right? Whichever way it goes. So they'll react to that and give you something like not meaningful, but something that is at least like resembling change. So then you feel successful, and then you keep doing it over and over again. That's the only avenue that you have any kind of like positive response from. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me know if you need her. Okay, RIP P is already here. If you need to make a Tiltify account yourself, so you know. I have to make a Tiltify account. Fuck. Okay. Hold on. I gotta set this up for later. Okay, this is for the fundraiser later. RAPP is already solidified. Okay, time to craft your campaign. We're gonna do a fund. We're gonna do a fundraiser for the Release Aging People in Prison campaign, alongside Alex Peter, also known as LOL Overruled. So, like that's a 100% certainty that's definitely happening. And then that's gonna happen later today at 4 p.m. for the record, in a couple hours. So, did you kiss off stream though? No. New video about the dangers of true crime on TikTok.
Love
okay, we'll look at that later. We'll look at that later. All right, let's continue with this.
Not really about Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis. It's about what America needs. We need somebody who can step in day one, look at Vladimir Putin, look at Xi Jinping, and say, okay, enough. I'm back.
On the endorsement front, Senator John Thune of South Dakota, the Senate's #2 Republican, is throwing his support behind Senator Scott and will be here in North Charleston this morning. Sources tell us that Senator Scott and others are getting into the race now because they want to make sure they have enough time to build support before that first debate in August. Tony.
All right, Bob, that John Thune endorsement is something. Civility, though, I don't know if the base of the Republican Party wants it. That poll was interesting. They're looking for a candidate that makes the other side angry. Notable stuff there. Appreciate it. I know you'll have much more on it.